With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Welcome back, trackside. Once again, race fans here to the Turn 3 Race Network. The Colonial Clash Racing Truck Series fires things off tonight for race number 4, the Windy Joe Memorial 135 from beautiful Kansas City, Kansas. A 1.5 mile D-shaped oval. Gonna put these drivers to the test tonight. Qualifying already underway, but first, how you doing? How you feeling? Out there at TV Land Race fans, glad you'd all join us here tonight. As always, David the Cave bringing you all the calls from trackside. And speaking of trackside, let's jump into some of your qualifying times here tonight. Quick time here in qualifying belongs to the number 21 of Thomas Smalling. Smalling taking the victory last week at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. This is a track pretty similar, a little bit bigger, but pretty similar on how you can run these corners. We'll see if Smalling can be the first to go back-to-back visits to victory lane with just about 65 seconds remaining in qualifying. Drivers going to have to lay down these times and try to dethrone Smalling at the top. Music fading away in the background. In time, ticking away on the stopwatch for these drivers here tonight. Only 11 truck drivers laying down a fast time. Troy Radford, Brandon Medford, John Garrett still out on track yet to put in their time lap. 3 very capable truck drivers of taking that top spot. Medford and Garrett going to slot at the bottom of the speed charts with Radford in 12th for his first time lap. It's going to come down to these 3 drivers. Can they pick up enough to dethrone the man sitting in the provisional pole position, Thomas Smalling, in the 21 Chevy Silverado? Quick time, 31:13, and there it is. Garrett's going to go second. Brandon Medford to 4th. Where does Radford shake out? With 20 seconds remaining on the stopwatch, Radford ready to cross that line, and where does he go? He's going to go 3rd, and that's going to do it for your qualifying here from Kansas Speedway. For the Windy Joe Memorial 135, Thomas Smalling will snatch that pole position, and we will step away from the track for just a brief moment. Head trackside for your national anthem. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rackets regular, the boats bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
And back trackside, high above with the turn 3 blimp here tonight. Qualifying session already underway. Drivers getting ready to hit that starting grid for tonight's Windy Joe Memorial 135 right here from Kansas Speedway. And what do you say we get a little closer to these trunks as they get ready to fire off from pit road? 19 truck field here tonight for the Windy Joe Memorial from Kansas Speedway. And as you can hear those familiar sounds in the background, you know it's time for us to run down your starting lineup for tonight's Windy Joe Memorial 135, starting inside row number 1, your pole sitter in the Pro Cup Racing Experience number 21 machine, Thomas Smalling. Cody Giles with a good qualifying effort. He'll start outside row number 1 in that second position. John Garrett, Troy Radford making up row number 2. Row number 3 here tonight, the 74 of Dustin Franklin, followed by the 83 of Brandon Medford. Thad Thaler and Chris Medford back in row number 4. Row number 5 tonight inside in that 23 machine, Mark Parkhurst. Rounding out your top 10 tonight from Kansas Motor Speedway inside of the number 38 Titletown Racing machine, that will be Dylan McDonald. Brandon Pamitat, Thad Thaler making up row number 6, and in row number 7 tonight, the 55 of Nathan Estep and the 35 of Wes Spuller. John Gutekunst and James Hoot making up row number 8. Row number 9 tonight belongs to Zach Woods and Scott Baker, with Ray Ratford rounding out the 19 truck field here tonight. As they all roll by, the cameras were set to go green flag racing. This time around, that's going to do it for your starting lineup. Hope everybody's ready for some fast-paced racing action. They're going to head down the backstretch. Gap's going to tighten up, and we're going to get set to drop the hammer here tonight. Quick on the loud pedal. We'll see who leads lap number 1, Smalling, with the advantage on that inside lane, but don't count out that fast Hoot Renovations number 6 of Giles. He's been a very wily, calculated driver over the first few weeks. So as the theme music fades out, pace car is going to duck out, and we're going to let the horsepower come to life to the restart zone, and on the gas, green flag flies as Smalling will take the green flag here from Kansas Speedway. The Windy Joe Memorial underway. Close battles down into turn number 1, side by side, second and third, fourth and fifth. Radford, Medford going at it. Thaler and Medford also going at it for 7th and 8th. Let's take a look at this as this 42 Dutch Brothers machine down on the bottom of the racetrack makes up. Whoa! And big wiggle from Radford. Big wiggle on the bottom. He's going to go around the 83 in trouble. Brandon Medford teammates come together off of turn number 4 and coming through the triangle on lap number 1. That's going to put us under caution quickly here tonight. Trouble on the track, lap number 1. Caution flag flies. Trouble here as it looks like, oh no, and Medford just going to tag the wall a little bit. He's going to pick up a little bit of damage from behind. Come to a stop in the infield. Keep it rolling here, and getting back out of the grass is the key. The 83 will continue on, so caution number 1 flies on lap number 1 here, the Windy Joe Memorial 135. Back at the front with your race leader, Thomas Smalling. Easy way to put a lap lead in your back pocket, and that's behind the pace car with our good buddy Travis Smith calling the pace car duties here tonight. Boss man in the flag stand, still keeping him straight out there. And a handful of drivers all ready to pit road. Six drivers all ready to pit road. Dylan McDonald, Brandon Medford, Chris Medford, Mark Parker, Scott Baker, and Ray Radford all to pit road this latest time around. Looks like McDonald just topping off with a little bit of fuel. Quick time on pit road, just stationary for 5.3 seconds, so that's got to be pretty much a splash and go for McDonald. Extended stay for the rest of these drivers in the field. Scott Baker down and away, now Ray Radford down and away. Three drivers still in damage control mode. Both of the Medford brothers as well as Parkhurst relegated onto pit road right now. Pace car lights are off. We are ready to go back green flag racing this time around. Race fans will crank these machines back up and try to snatch a few gears. The caution flag flying at the end of lap number one. A little bit of trouble off of turn number 4 for the 83 of Brandon Medford. And that's going to collect at least two other drivers, Mark Parkhurst as well as Chris Medford, all going to be involved in this one. Radford and Ray Radford, Scott Baker, all came down to pit road to top off with fuel. They're back at the tail end of the field, and we're ready to drop the hammer once again as the field double file into turn 3. And on the gas, green flag flies. Once again here from Kansas Speedway. Out front is Thomas Smalling. Side by side is Garrett and Giles. Franklin and Radford going at it for a position down to the bottom of the racetrack. Runs that 74. Franklin looking for more. Close racing down the backstretch. Everybody going to drop from the high side down to the bottom of the racetrack. We're 4 deep. Ooh, single file. Garrett gets loose in third. We'll cross the start finish line and complete our first green flag lap, and we will drop that timing and scoring to the left-hand side of your screen. Now let you try to find and follow along with your favorite driver here tonight. Big time trouble out there tonight for that 83 of Brandon Medford. He's going to be back to pit road this time around. Trouble tonight for Brandon. Top spot under fire here tonight. Thomas Smalling with some company. Close, fast trucks behind him. Cody Giles, John Garrett right there at the top side of the racetrack. Garrett trying to get that machine to the front of the field. He's going to drop to the bottom now. A little bit of side draft going into turn number 3, trying to pull that 6 of Giles back as Garrett's going to look to slide up the track. Slide job. Oh, crossover. Big move by Giles. Big move by Cody Giles to get back down to the bottom of the racetrack, and he will take that position. And it looks like Garrett's struggling a little bit through 1 and 2. That truck looks all sorts of unsettled here tonight early in the Windy Joe Memorial 135 from Kansas Speedway. Now under fire from the 74 of Dustin Franklin is Garrett. He's got more trucks looking to his inside. Here comes the 55 of Nathan Eastep. Eastep up 7 positions from where he qualified tonight, so he's on his way to the front. Troy Radford dropping back 3 positions from where he qualified. Early moment on lap number 1 for that 94 Lucky Finn Project Chevy Silverado. Now Radford gonna try to recover. Oof. Flirting with that outside wall. I'm telling you, that is getting dangerous out there. 74 of Dustin Franklin, top side of the racetrack. He's got a slew of trunks behind him. As he's going to find a way to the bottom. Thad Failer also up there running the high side. He's got help with Troy Radford. There's the 48 of Brandon Bamatat running in the 8th position, up 3 spots from where he qualified. So a handful of these truck drivers going to the high side early here tonight from Kansas. One driver off pace, top of the speedway. That was James Oot, the 65 of Oot. Gonna lose a lot of ground here. It continued to drop some spots. Ray Radford going to make his way by as now Failer and Giles going at it for second. Dustin Franklin and Wes Fuller at it for eighth. Jump around the track just a little bit, trying to bring you all of the action here tonight, as there is a ton of action here from Kansas Speedway. Then you can see the Square D number 55 machine of Nathan Eastep. He's got the 48 U.S. Air Force Chevy Silverado of Brandon Pamitat all over him in the inside lane, not going anywhere right now. Headway made on the high side. Top 3 make it 4 all single file here at Kansas Speedway. Everybody beginning to log those laps, but now as Failer utilizes the bottom of the racetrack, that's going to open up the high side. Here comes Eastep in that 55. Watching this battle for the top spot as we got to move right here. It looks like 38 of Dylan McDonald going to make the pass on the 35 of Wes Fuller. Fuller going to drop a spot in that Ford F-150. Now your top 8, all Chevrolets here from Kansas. As we were saying, up here at the top of the racetrack, let's go up here with the front of this field. You can see Radford really using that high line on entry to 1 and 2, really keeping the momentum up, and here he is on the bumper looking to make a move. Radford going to look for that second position. They'll go side by side into turn number 3 with Radford on the bottom, Giles at the top. Ooh, a little bit of trouble back behind these drivers. I believe that may have been Dylan McDonald on the high side of the racetrack with a little bit of a moment with that Failer. John Garrett dropping through the field right now from 4th all the way back to 10th. Make that 11th as Garrett's having trouble. Garrett with a big moment and big save. The 66 going to drop all the way outside of your top 15. So from 3rd on the starting grid all the way to 16th here, that is not the way he wants his race to continue. As Cody Giles looks for the race lead front of the field. Once again, side-by-side action for your race lead. Small at the top. Radford right. Oh, my God. Ooh, that was extremely close right there. Great heads-up move by Radford to pull that Lucky Pin Project number 94 down to the bottom of the racetrack and miss any potential contact between himself and Cody Giles as Giles slid up off the bottom of the racetrack. And it's kind of the direction that your truck just naturally wants to go here. You come off of the bottom of that center. You want to kind of carry that momentum out to the wall. So you're letting the truck, in my terms, you're letting the truck kind of float out to the wall and stay in the gas. And sometimes, you're going up there and you think you got the space, you think you got the room. And sometimes you're right, sometimes it's a little too close for comfort, and that time by it was a little too close for Radford. As, oh, we got to stack up into the outside wall. Two drivers going to make contact. Pamitat makes contact with Troy Radford, and Pamitat still trying to recover. Brandon still trying to grab a hold of that U.S. Air Force number 48 machine. He's going to lose a handful of positions. Nathan Estep, Thad Baylor, John Gutekunst all going to work their way by. Big move on the front stretch. Big move on the front stretch, and oh boy, 3 wide for a moment into turn number 1. Now the 30's going to catch a piece of that wall. Brandon Pamitat going to move to his end to keep Pamitat inside of your top 10 as a 38 of Dylan McDonald going to look back down to the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes Thad Miller, Mark Parkhurst right behind him in the 23 machine. A lot of action early here tonight from Kansas Speedway as your top 2 have stepped away from the field. The trouble right there involving Radford, Pamitat, and a handful of other drivers all having to check up there with the contact from the outside wall from Troy Radford. That kind of stacked them up from third on back. Now a 1.3 second deficit for Nathan Estep to Cody Giles. So Estep's going to have to make some gains here. If Thad Baylor and John Gutekunst can all get in line, they may be able to run your top 2 drivers back down. But that U.S. Air Force number 48 of Pamitat struggling here tonight. With the struggles from Pamitat, let's head back here to the front of this field. There you see your gap for your race leaders. Smalling and Giles going to go streaking by. And lap number 22 in our back pocket. Lap 23 now underway. Looking for some battles, and we've found them. 3rd, 4th, 5th, all right here to throw a blanket over them as Nathan Estep sits in that 3rd and final podium position. The Dutch Brothers number 42 machine up that Failer hot on the trail with John Gutekunst not too far off. Tell you what, while we've got a little bit of time here, let's go on board. Let's ride away with Gutekunst as Estep touches that outside wall. Familiar theme here tonight. Let's go on board with the 41. Gutekunst's going to look to the bottom in turn 3. Not going to be able to make the speed down there on the bottom of the racetrack, and the momentum will pay off for Thad Failer. Failer will keep the 3rd position. Gutekunst back in 4th. Nathan Estep now rounding out your top 5 as Dustin Franklin begins to wind in your top 5. Franklin sits in 6th. Troy Radford back in 7th. Dylan McDonald in 8th. 9th place belongs to Thad Miller, and Mark Parkhurst rounds out your top 10. We go back here in the pack a little bit as, oh, caution flag will fly. Caution on the speedway. I believe this may be our stage break caution coming at lap number 25. End of lap number 25. Coming to lap number 26. Look for a handful of drivers to be heading down to pit road as we are under caution for a stage break here tonight from Kansas Speedway. What an opening event as well. Quick caution on lap number 1, then green flag racing to finish out the stage. So as these drivers get to head or get ready to possibly head to pit road, we're going to step away for just a brief commercial break, get things set up and ready to go. Back green flag racing. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back live from Kansas Speedway. And back trackside live once again here for the Windy Joe Memorial 135, race number 4 for the Colonial Clash Racing Truck Series. Thomas Smalling leading every lap so far here tonight. One quick caution back at lap number 1 brought the field to a crawl. Your stage break caution coming moments ago. Smalling leading the field off of pit road. Cody Giles right there in second. Dustin Franklin gonna make some moves in that 74. Will restart from the 3rd position. John Gutekunst right there inside your top 5 with Thad Miller closing out your top 5. Medford and Pemmican back in 6th and 7th. Zachary Woods, Ray Radford, and Dylan McDonald will round out your top 10. And oh no, Ray going to come down to pit road, so that's going to mix it up. That's going to move Troy Radford to a top 10 as we are a third of the way through tonight's race. We are clicking them off quick here in this 1.5 mile D-shaped oval in Kansas City, Kansas. What a run, what a night so far here. Who you got out there in TV land? Let's get your favorite fan picks. Who do you think's going to capture this flag tonight? I would tell you who my pick is, but we all know how that broadcaster's curse can go. You start talking about a driver a little too much, or you start building up a driver, if you will, and trouble typically seems to find a way into that driver's camp, car, truck, whatever it may be. So we're going to keep that one a little close to the cuff for a little bit longer here tonight. We'll see if my driver can get there by the end of tonight's race. But once again, double file through turn 3 and 4. Racing pace car ready to duck off, and we're ready to nail the loud pedal once again. here from Kansas Speedway. Drivers into the Geico restart zone, and away we go. Green flag flies once again here from Kansas Speedway. Good start by Smalling. Franklin going to have to deal with Giles. Franklin trying to work his way by the man on the high side, and Giles going to give up one position, if not two. Here comes Chris Medford on the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to keep it wound up, and he'll take the position. Side by side battle for your race lead with Dustin Franklin digging on the bottom. Slide job coming. Crossover, no. And it looks like Franklin will be your new race leader at the line for the first time here tonight. Somebody besides Thomas Smalling will lead a lap. Dustin Franklin will lead that lap, but Smalling going to go right back on the offensive, drop right down to the bottom of the racetrack and take that position away. Chris Medford going to make some headway as well, and he's going to grab the second away from Franklin. First few laps after the restart completed. Let's go ahead and drop that Tommy and scoring back to the left hand. The side of your screen, Chris Medford turning in the fastest lap in a race trim here tonight. That's going to be a 31.06, so Chris Medford definitely has some speed inside of that number 46 machine. But Smalling will not be denied. He gives up the race lead for a moment, but keeps going back to the point and keeps a control of the race. And you want to see a lot of hungry drivers. You want to see a lot going on. Let's take a look off of the tail end of your race leader. That's a look back as Chris Medford going to look down to the bottom of the racetrack, look for position, but there you see everybody all over this track. Look at that, 3-4 distinct different lines back through. Oh, we got contact. Oh, big trouble now. Medford goes around. He's going to collect a slew of other trucks, and Smalling may have big time issues here. That truck billowing black smoke, and caution number 3 will fly. Waiting for the thumbs up on it. It looks like we got it. Let's go back. Let's check the replay. It looks like the 46 and the 21 just kind of get caught and stuck with each other. A lot of drivers going to come piling in from there. That's going to spell big trouble for a lot of guys. Let's check one more angle here. There it is. There's that contact. Well, nowhere to go. Nathan Estep, absolutely nothing he could do, nowhere he could go, and a lot of trucks going to be on pit road now as we go back live out front with your race leader. New race leader, Dustin Franklin, going to pick up the pieces, and he's going to walk away with the race lead as we are under caution for the third time here tonight. Second on-track incident. And while we've got some time, what do you say? What do you say we visit some of those championship standings coming into race number 4? 3 separate race winners in our first 3 races so far here in season number 4. John Garrett, Chris Medford, Thomas Smalling, all going to victory lane. Where do they shake out in the point standings? Right there near the front, right there near the top. John Garrett coming into tonight's race just 1 point in front of Troy Radford. Smalling 4 points back from Radford as well, but Smalling with some trouble. We'll see how the rest of his night goes from here on out. How about Cody Giles and Chris Medford rounding out your top 5 here tonight? John Gutekunst sitting back in 7th in the overall point standing. Still a long way to go this season, so a lot of ground still there to be made up. As you can see, Thad Failer in the 42 iRacing League Calculator Motorsports Machine sitting in 10th in the point standings, 30 points back. But as we've already mentioned, a long way to go here in season number 4, and a lot of ground still left to be made up. 2 drivers already on to pit road. Chris Medford going to be on pit road for quite an extended stay. Nathan Estep, I believe Wes Fuller and Mark Parkhurst, minimal damage here as they're going to roll back off of the pit road. As we head down the backstretch, pace car lights off. We're ready to roll once again here from Kansas Speedway. Pace car down and away to the restart zone. We roll, and on the gas, green flag flies. Once again, here from Kansas Speedway, you're watching the Windy Joe Memorial 135 here with the Colonial Clash Racing Truck Series. Franklin now enjoys that clean air at the front, and he's beginning to flex a little muscle. Dylan McDonald gonna snatch that second position away. Here comes Giles looking back to the bottom once again, looking for that second spot. Will he get it? He wants a little more. More trouble, and Troy Radford has some issues. Radford gonna have some issues. Troy gonna be our latest to have some trouble here tonight, as caution number 4 gonna fly quickly after the restart. We're going to look to see if we've got a vantage point of this one, and I'm getting a thumbs up, so let's go ahead and let's check the replay. Three wide, gone wrong. Not a ton of contact, but still enough contact, and Radford will have to come to pit road as we head back live with your race leader, Dustin Franklin, at the front of the field. Oh, he's going to make a late exit and head down to pit road. John Gutekunst, Brandon Pamitat going to stay out on the track. Looks like every other truck going to come down pit road. So as we find ourselves under caution for the 4th time here on lap number 40, we're going to take a brief commercial break, pay a few bills, and if you with the sponsors don't go anywhere, race fans, we'll be right back.
We got big time problems with that motor, buddy. Hey, just between you and me, the idea is to avoid the other cars. Congratulations! You just set the sport back 30 years with that move. That move will put you in the Hall of Shame. You keep doing stuff like that, and we're going to lose our sponsor. Looks like that's it for us today. Now I know why you got canned by your old team. It's over. We can't fix that damage. Your car is toast. You'll need to tow back to pit lane, press and hold your reset button, and we'll come and get you.
We rejoin the race live trackside once again as the iRacing pace car gets ready to cut those lights out. The boss man in the black stand gonna give him the one finger wave. And our good buddy Mr. Smith gonna turn those pace car lights out, and we're gonna get ready to go back. Green flag racing, quick trouble here after the restart. From the stage breaking drivers, gonna get ready to roll once again, double file at the front. Things looking a little bit different here at the front of the field. John Gutekunst's gonna take the race lead for the first time here tonight. He will become our third different race leader. Brandon Pamatad gonna restart right to his outside with Cody Giles and Dustin Franklin back in row number 2. Dylan McDonald, Zach Woods back in row 3. Failer and Garrett making up row 4 for the restart, and Brandon Medford and Thad Miller gonna finish out the drivers inside of the top 10. Halfway down the backstretch, double file, we get set to roll here in the Windy Joe Memorial 135. Out of turn number 4, we roll in into high gear. Driver's going to snatch these gears as Gutekunst brings them back to the green flag here from Kansas Speedway. Top of the racetrack goes Gutekunst. So from the bottom to the top, and now right back down to the bottom. Here comes Cody Giles looking for second inside of Brandon Pamatad. A little bit of a sitting duck moment here, possibly for Gutekunst, as Giles does have fresher tires, and we've got 3 wide for your race lead into turn number 3. Down at the bottom of the racetrack, the Fort Worth screen printing number 6 of Cody Giles will take the race lead for the first time here tonight. Close side by side truck racing action between Pamatad and Gutekunst. Oh, we got trucks flipping. Oh my goodness. Did you see Thad Failer? Thad Failer gonna go for a ride here. Oh my goodness. Ranford and Failer coming together. Let's go check the replay. Latest caution of the night. There you see Ranford already with the trouble. Thad Failer flipping, spinning all around. We'll try to take one more look at it if we got it, gentlemen. There it is. Let's take a look, and there's Failer loose on the bottom of the racetrack. Nowhere to go, up and over, around. Oh my gosh. 23 of Mark Parkhurst also going to catch a piece of this latest action. Now Radford and Failer relegated to pit road as we head back out front with your race leader halfway point here tonight, as we've had our 5th caution of the evening for coming from on-track activities. Only one stage break here tonight, so drivers on the drivers on the downhill side of things, as Giles gonna head to pit road, and as your race leader moves to pit road, that's gonna pull everybody else down pit road with them as well. The Oot Renovations Fort Worth screen printing number 6 of Cody Giles will bring the field to the pit box. Watching the race off of pit road, and John Garrett gonna take that spot away. The first time here tonight, John Garrett, that 66 machine, will move to the front of the field, and he will restart as the control car. One quick fix here with the Colonial Clash Racing Series. That is why you see some of these drivers that have had those early troubles able to continue on. You can see already. Thad Failer back out there on track. The number 42 going to lose a little bit of position here, but it does indeed look like he's still going to restart this race inside of the top 10 after using that quick fix, a little bit of a reset button. And as I say that, he's going to head right back down pit road. So what we're noticing here is very close racing action, especially coming out of turn number 4. Really, that has been the trouble spot here tonight in the Windy Joe Memorial 135 for the Colonial Clash Racing Truck Series. That has been the trouble spot, and that is where the most drivers seem to be struggling here. But our latest caution coming after contact on the bottom of the racetrack next to that white line, a little bit of contact, and that 42 of that Failer, nothing he could really do at that moment. Truck got out of shape, and he was just along for the ride right there. A little bit of contact with a handful of other drivers, and that put Failer onto the wall, doing his best. Tony Hawk rail ride kickflip impressions. And, well, not that he did a bad job, but let's just say Tony Hawk does it better. However, a Failer going to recover and try to be a little better by the end of tonight's race. He will start outside of your top 10 back in the 12th position. Troy Radford, one of the other trucks involved in this latest incident. The Lucky Finn Project, number 94 Chevy Silverado will restart in 14th. Wes Fuller, Ray Radford, Zachary Woods, and Chris Medford, all relegated to pit road, still trying to fix some damage on their machines. You know, race fans, this is where it's going to get interesting as well, because we do have some drivers with some damage. We do have drivers that have been cleaned all night long near the front of this field. Your pole sitter, last week's race winner, Thomas Smalling, early trouble here tonight for the Pro Cup Racing Experience number 21 machine. He saw every lap led in his back pocket until the stage break, and since he has yet to crack the top 5, Smalling will restart once again back in 8th. Pace car ready to dock off, and we are ready to roll once again here from Kansas Speedway. John Garrett gonna nail the gas, and green flag flies once again. Pamitat gonna push him clear. Now Giles gonna go right down to the bottom, so it's a 3 drunk breakaway front of the field. They'll go single file up the track for a moment. Goes Garrett. That's gonna open up the door for Brendan Pamitat. Giles makes a move to the bottom. Gutekunst looking to the inside of the 38 of McDonald, almost 4 wide as we stay 3 wide into turn 3. A little bit of a moving roadblock right now for that 66 of John Garrett, struggling with a little grip through 3 and 4. He'll wash way up the racetrack right in front of the 83 of Medford. Has now Brandon Pamitat has become your new race leader with 40 laps remaining. In the Windy Joe Memorial 135 off of turn number 2, we roll. We'll watch the 66 push the 83 back to the front of this field. And as we said, he hadn't cracked the top 5 since dropping from that race lead. What do you know? Knock on wood. Here comes Thomas Smalling. Side by side for your race lead, side by side for 3rd and 4th. Right there behind him, ready to pick up the pieces, is Thomas Smalling. But unfortunately, drivers that have been in those positions behind these close battles have seen some trouble themselves. Big move by Giles from the top to the bottom. He'll cut down the track like a hot knife through butter, and Giles going to look for that race lead. Still side by side for your race lead between Cody Giles and Brandon Bamatat. 74 Dustin Franklin, he's putting his truck up in the mix, and again, field dominated by bow ties tonight. Your top 11 places on the track, all sporting those Chevy Silverado bow ties on the front of their machines. One fast forward in the field, and he is back in 12th. Wes Fuller, the Lone Ranger for the Ford camp. Big moment off the 2 there. A little bit of contact from the 74 on the tail end of the 6. Gets Giles out of shape. They'll go down the track right in front of the 38 of Dylan McDonald, recover well, and head back around 3 and 4 now, crossing the line. Lap number 54 goes on the board. First through 11th, all packed up right here with each other, all running within about a second and a half of your race leader. My gosh. Oh, and there's the contact, and caution flag will fly. And Dylan McDonald going to go around off of the nose of the 74 of Dustin Franklin. No harm, no foul. Looks like McDonald was able to keep it out of hitting anything else here with that spin down to the bottom of the racetrack and into the infield on the front stretch. Drivers just arguing over real estate, and it looks like one of them does get the eviction notice, and Dustin Franklin will stay in second. Caution number 6 tonight will fly, and we will utilize this opportunity to take a brief commercial break, pay some of our final few bills here tonight, so don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be back with all your green flag action right here from Kansas Speedway. You're watching the Windy Joe Memorial 135.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
And back high above the track with the turn 3 drone cam here after our 6th caution of the evening. Nathan Eastep going to win the race off of pit road, and he will grab that top spot away. Brandon Pamitat, Dustin Franklin right there with Thomas Smalling rounding out your top 5 for our latest restart. We're going to have just a little over 30 laps remaining, so if you thought the action was hot and heavy before, you ain't seen nothing yet. These drivers going to crank it up a notch or two over this short little run to the end. The lights are beginning to come on, and we will finish this thing off under the track lights, excuse me. Knee step into the restart zone and on the gas. Whoa, a little bit of a late start there for E-Step. He took him deep into that restart zone. A little bit of a stack up for this field. And the square D, number 55, going to keep it at the bottom of the racetrack, not trying to give up any advantage to Cody Giles behind him. Here comes Giles to the bottom now as E-Step goes to the top. No help for Brandon. Or I apologize, no help for Nathan there as Pamitat sticks to the bottom of the racetrack following Cody Giles. 2, 3, 4 wide across the start finish line. Ho ho. Now falling deep through the field is Nathan Eastep. 55 square D machine not able to keep pace here with the front of the field. We're going to head back with your race leaders. Single file for the moment, but just waiting for Pamitat to stick that U.S. Air Force 48 Chevy Silverado to the inside and look for that position. Not going to be able to grab it just yet. Thomas Smalling going to move into 4th. Battle between himself and John Garrett. Let's go back here side by side for 4th. How about the recovery here tonight as well for that 83 of Brandon Medford? Medford started in 6th position, was running inside of your top 3 until trouble on the track relegated that 83 back in the field. It's been an uphill battle, but he has managed to persevere through tonight. Now, how about the Lucky Finn Project number 94 of Troy Radford? Radford also one of those drivers that has seen multiple incidents here tonight. Lots of trouble here from Kansas Speedway, and somehow Radford has got himself knocking on the door of a top 5. John Garrett right here looking to the inside, not going to be able to grab that position by the time they get to turn number 1. Still single file at the front with Cody Giles showing the way. Giles liking what he sees in his rear view mirror. That's drivers battling for position. Brandon Medford, Thomas Smalling going to go at it 4th and 5th on the racetrack here. Dustin Franklin trying to hold down that final spot on the podium, still trying to keep his point stay alive. Looking back to the outside, and a little bit of contact with the outside wall. Contact with the outside wall for the 21 Pro Cup Racing Experience machine of Thomas Smalling, your pole sitter here tonight. Led your first 26 laps of the race. Has been relegated back in traffic. Has been stuck, stagnant, trying to work his way to the front. He gets a little closer and the caution flag flies. He works a little closer and your caution flag flies. Green flag racing conditions. Smalling now on the outside of the speedway. Looking for a position on Troy and Radford. They'll stay side by side as Medford and Franklin continue their battle for the final spot in the podium. Stacked up behind them is Dylan McDonald, John Garrett, John Gudekunst, Zach Woods, Thad Failer. Let's go back to this 4-5 truck battle going on. Right behind your lead pack, 2-3 wide for a moment as Garrett is all over the tail end of McDonald now. And I tell you what, we've got some time. Let's see if our camera's still intact. There it is, onboard camera here with the 42 of Thad Failer. Would have liked to have seen that camera during his flip and spin and rail grinding action. 3 wide in front of Failer here. Gudekunst in the middle, Garrett down on the bottom, and John Garrett will take the position away. As we watch the battles back from the 42 of Thad Failer outside of your top 10, sitting in 11th. One truck to his inside, I believe that is Zachary Woods in the 60, the Toyota Tundra, the only Tundra in the field, trying to make some headway as we count down to 20 to go here from Kansas Speedway. You're watching the Colonial Clash Racing Truck Series. We'll jump back outside of these machines and back around the racetrack. Let's head right here with John Gudekunst and John Garrett going at it. Battle of the Johns. Off of turn 4, close there. Almost into the grass goes Garrett. With 22 to go, there is still a lot of racing to be had. A lot of positions to be gained and a lot of positions to give up here tonight. Cody Giles continuing to show the way. Brandon Bamatad right there in second. And now Brandon Medford, he's been able to walk away from Smalling a little bit here and reel in your race leaders. It's a 3-truck battle at the front. Watching battles inside of your top 10, Dustin Franklin, John Gudekunst, and John Garrett. All right here, lined up with each other. And how about, we got to give the guy some props. He's now inside of the top 5, rounding out your 5th and final position inside of that top 5. The 94 Lucky Fin Project machine of Troy Radford. We've already mentioned it here tonight. Radford has done it multiple times and somehow has managed to stay focused, head down, elbows up, and move that 94 back in a good points-paying position. That failure going to go by Dylan McDonald. That's going to be for the 9th position on track. Gudekunst almost into the outside wall as he's been able to step away from John Garrett. Meanwhile, from the field, race leader Cody Giles takes him under 20 to go, and he's starting to build a gap. He's starting to build a little bit of an advantage is Giles. Bamatad right there, still running in a solid 2nd position. Brandon Medford right there, hot on the trail. Less than 30 miles of racing remaining here in the official race distance for the Colonial Clash Racing Truck Series season number 4, race number 4, the Wendy Joe Memorial 135, right here live from Kansas Speedway. We do want to take a moment to thank each and every one of you for tuning in tonight here with us, watching some great racing action as always here each and every Wednesday night with the Colonial Clash Racing Truck Series. So while you're here, while you're at it, if you haven't already, join us in that push to 3,000 subscribers. As always, show these drivers some love and drop that thumbs up, click subscribe, and smash the bell on the right hand side but we've got ourselves a caution. We're going to slow the action down here, and we're going to really have ourselves a shootout to the end. This could decide the race right here. What do you do for your pit road strategy? Where do you go from here? Well, I tell you where we're going to go from here. We're going to go back to the turn 3 drone cam and see if we can't see what happened here. There's the contact, the 60 down on the bottom of the racetrack. More contact than the 74. Gonna go around the 38. Gonna catch a piece of this. McDonald and Franklin with trouble late here from Kansas. And that's going to do it. That's going to put us back under caution for the 7th time here tonight from Kansas Speedway. Driver's going to eyeball pit road, but what do you do? And it looks like there's your answer. No gamblers here. Nobody willing to risk it for the biscuit this late in tonight's feature event. Everybody going to head down pit lane. And while these drivers continue their pit stops, what do you say we go back up high above the track? Look at this beautiful racing facility, all lit up. Sun completely setting in the background. What a beautiful vantage point of a beautiful racetrack here in Kansas City. One of the tracks that I have, I have on the list to get to, just haven't had the opportunity presented itself in order to get there, but definitely gotta get to Kansas Speedway. It is definitely one of those bucket list tracks. A lot of them have been crossed off. A lot of big events crossed off as well for myself. So we'll see if we can get to Kansas soon. But drivers already back on track after their pit stops here under our 7th caution tonight. You're watching the Wendy Joe Memorial 135. We are under 30 miles of racing left. We will have, I believe it's going to be about 13 laps of racing to go when we drop the hammer with the green flag once again. So what do you say we go out with race leader Brandon Pamitat? Gonna lead him off of pit road. He'll win the race off of pit road. Cody Giles gonna come off of pit road in second. Brandon Pamitat. Brandon Medford, I apologize, back in third. Troy Radford fourth. John Garrett in fifth. Thad Failer, John Kudikunst, Wes Fuller, Nathan Eastep, and Dustin Franklin. A round out your top 10. And it looks like we're going to have ourselves 12 laps to go when we see the green flag fly. The one finger wave going to be given out by the boss man in the flag stand. Our good buddy Travis Smith, a little bit busy in the pace car here tonight, but he'll drop the pit road after bringing the field around one more time. A lot on the line coming to the end of tonight's race. Will we see a repeat winner or yet another fresh face into victory lane here in race number 4 for the Colonial Clash Racing Truck Series? First 3 races, 3 separate race winners. Will we see yet another fresh face in victory lane? I believe it to be so, and green flag flies once again here from Kansas Speedway. Brandon Pimentan with a good restart. He's going to jump out front. Brandon Medford and Troy Radford right here, second and third on the racetrack. Somehow these Falcon Motorsports teammates have found a way to get back to the front. They are right here, battling for podium positions once again as we come off of turn number 4. Back under green flag racing conditions, 11 laps remaining. We'll drop that timing and scoring back to the left-hand side of your screen. There you have it. Follow along and find your favorite pleasure. Here with the Colonial Clash Racing Truck Series, 11 laps to go. Radford with some issues. Giles looking to take that third spot away, but hot and heavy battle behind him. Gutekunst and Garrett going at it side by side, 5th and 6th on the racetrack. New race leader, will it be at the line? Can Medford get the job done and steal a lap lead? And he's going to do so at the line. Brandon Medford will lead the lap at the line. Still digging on the bottom of the racetrack, still trying to make it work. 2 wide, close quarters. Things heating up here from Kansas. 15 miles of racing before our checkered flag flies here tonight in Medford, utilizing that inside lane. He'll lead that lap once again. And interesting to see teammates not working with each other here in these final few laps. We'll see if Radford drops down to the bottom now. There he goes. He's going to go down to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to give his Falcon Motorsports teammate a little bit of help. And no, he's going to leave him on the front stretch. Where's he going to go? Radford moves to the top of the racetrack. Contrary to popular belief, we would have thought that Radford would have stayed at the bottom of the racetrack, trying to help that Falcon Motorsports teammate of his piloting that Spartan Transportation number 83 machine. Brandon Medford right here looking for his first win of the season. Can he get it done here tonight with 7 to go? Just 7 laps remaining in all 3 of your podium positions, highly contested right now. Your top 4. Double file, 2 rows deep. Thad Failer likes what he sees. Can he make his way up there? 4/10 of a second back with 6 laps remaining. I believe Failer may have an outside opportunity, but he's going to have to get there, and he's going to have to get there in the next lap. Or I would say at least by lap number 4 with 4 laps remaining. Failer is going to have to be there. Lined up single file, front of the field, high side, and here comes Medford back down to the bottom of the racetrack. Cody Giles moves into third, snatching that final podium spot away from Troy Radford, who is all over the rear deck lid on that 48 of Brandon Pimentan. Pimentan doing a fantastic job at keeping that U.S. Air Force machine straight through the triangle with a huge push off of Radford, and here comes Failer. Failer going to move to the inside, and he's going to take the 4th spot away now from Radford, who's now under fire from Nathan Estep. So in the blink of an eye, in the course of a lap, just like that, Troy Radford goes from battling for 2nd and 3rd to now battling to keep himself inside of the top 5. We're going to move back to your race leaders. There's Estep working that square D. Chevy Silverado down to the bottom of the racetrack looking for position on Radford. Almost there. They're going to pull even through the center. E-Step trying to make some gains. Little bit of loose condition out of that 42 of Thad Failer just off in front. Meanwhile, front of the field, Brandon Medford starting to walk away. 3 laps to go here from Kansas Speedway. What a race, what a night. We've got ourselves a Saturday night shootout here midweek, helping you get through your hump day here tonight. Can Brandon Medford capture the flag for the first time here in season number 4? Will cross the line with popsicle sticks on display. The boss man in the flag stand giving the peace sign. The 2 to go here from Kansas. Top 3 stepping away. Brandon Medford in control of the race. Lead Cody Giles trying to work the high side off of turn number 4. The white flag. Final lap here tonight from Kansas Speedway. Just 1.5 miles remain at the Windy Joe Memorial 135, and it looks like it's all going to come down to the run down the backstretch, and it's not going to happen. Cody Giles going to nail the outside wall on corner exit, and he's going to drop some positions. He's going to drop outside of your podium now as Failer will take the spot coming across the line. Checkered flag flies. New race winner, Brandon Medford in the Spartan Transportation number 83 machine. The Falcon Motorsports driver will walk away with the checkered flag. And how about Brandon Pamitat in that U.S. Air Force number 48? He will walk away with second. Thad Failer. What a run here tonight from Failer. Your top 3 put on quite a show here at the end and picking up the pieces, putting himself in position for the opportunity given. Thad Failer will walk away with the final spot on the podium tonight. Brandon Pamitat, your biggest mover of the race, will finish in second as your top 3 come to the front stretch. They're going to allow race winner Brandon Medford a little bit of time to himself out there on the track. He's going to give the fans in the stands a bit of a smoke show, and we're going to step away to get things ready for your pre-race show and your driver interviews. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back. In back trackside at the conclusion of tonight's Windy Joe Memorial 135 right here with the Colonial Clash Racing Truck Series. What a run, what a night here from Kansas Speedway. So we're going to dive right into it. Let's see if we can grab and have a few words with the man that walked away third here tonight. Finishing out the podium in that number 42 truck, that it's Dave. You got a copy?
Yeah, I do. How's it going, Dave?
It's going good, man. How you doing?
I am doing well. That was hard fought, and I don't know if there's a clean truck out there.
Well, my truck is in the parking lot, and it was dirty before it got here, so I guess it's still not clean. No, not okay, not funny. Anyways, we'll move on.
I got to remember, I'm on push to talk, so I'm sitting there laughing and not pushing the button. So,
it's all good, bud. Well, you had yourself a little bit of an eventful night, let's call it. At one point in time, doing a little rail grinding and kick flipping down the backstretch. How were you able to, one, refocus and drive her way to the front? And two, how worried are you after that big contact like that you got to keep it ultra clean for the rest of the evening?
oh, well, yeah. First, I want to make a shout out to all the drivers. Yeah, I mean, without those guys, yeah, the truck was fast. I had a good fast 42 Chevrolet, and just it got out from under me, and I rode it around, and I think Wes helped me finish it off, and then just collected a bunch of trucks, a bunch of good trucks. But for the most part, yeah, it was the fast truck, and just being patient and sticking to the line that I knew it was fast in, and it came and went. You know, at the beginning of the run, the bottom seemed to pay off really well, but the top line, middle top, kind of really paid off in the long run. And just it's all momentum, so you keep your momentum going and get by and give and take. And unfortunately tonight there was a lot of take and not a lot of giving, but when it came to the time where I had to really go, I also paid off. Well, I have to shout out to Cody, because he should have probably finished second or third, but put it in the wall in the last lap. So I'm here because of that, but I'll take it. So these things are hard to get on podiums. So
Yeah, well, sometimes you gotta be in the right spot at the right time to pick up the pieces and grab the opportunities that lay in front of you. And tonight you were able to do so, and it all comes from staying focused. Really, after that contact and big wreck, you could have just, I'm gonna call it, went off a cliff. But fortunately enough, you kept the climbing rig ready to go, man. You did one heck of a job, man. Congratulations on your comeback and run back through the field. Before we let you go, though, Thad, would you like to give any final shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, maybe thank anybody back home or at the shop?
well, I'm gonna shout out to 1776 Motorsports, Goose Graphics for the wrap on the paint. I'm gonna shout out for the few fans I have, and you for the broadcast, the drivers for the racing that they did put on, and to the wife who lets me do this sport.
Well, Thad, again, a pleasure catching up with you in tonight's post-race interviews. We'll see if we can't grab a few words next week at New Hampshire. A little bit of a different animal up there in the Northeast, but we'll see how you go.
I love to. I'm trying to get the full race put together. I had a fast truck last week and fell apart in the pits, and I was thinking the same thing this time. I had a speeding penalty and was just shaking my head. But if I can put one of these things together, I might be back here. So hopefully that'll be the case.
Well, I promise you, you'll be back before the end of this season, and we'll be waiting on you when you get here.
All right. Have a good evening.
All right, there you go. Final few parting words from the man. Walking away in third, he's going to pick up the pieces on the final lap. A little bit of trouble in front of him, but nonetheless, the 42 of Thad Failer walks away with third. That's going to move us right up the track and right up the list. We're going to see if we can now grab a few words with the man inside of that U.S. Air Force Chevy Silverado, sitting second in the field here tonight. Brandon, it's Dave. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, man, you led a handful of laps here tonight. It looked like you might be sitting in that right spot at the end of tonight's race. How disappointed were you to see that final caution?
Honestly, not too disappointed. That final caution, the caution before that, I took 2 tires. So I knew my left sides were going to be hurt more than the right sides after that little bit of that run. So I was going to come in and take tires, and we were all, we had like less than a gallon to fill to make it on fuel. So I was honestly happy that came out, because then, we wouldn't have to mix in with the guys playing the fuel strategy in the back. We could sort of just all regroup with new trucks, essentially. I was able to beat Cody out of pit road. That was pretty cool. Hung out in the front for a bit, and then thought I had it, honestly. And then Brandon got me in he put himself in a good position to sort of take the inside going down the backstretch. And then from there, he pretty much had it. And Cody and I fought for a bit, going back and forth for second and third. And then, he tapped the wall coming out of 4, and we just cruised it down the second. So not bad.
Yeah, excuse me, not a bad night for you and your crew. A little bit of a long night, but not a bad night. So coming into tonight's race, outside of the top 10, a solid second place standing with a handful of other drivers having some issues. You may be able to slide yourself into the top 10. We'll see how all the chips fall when the points are all calculated, but a job well done here tonight in the Windy Joe Memorial 135. Brandon, before we let you go, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, maybe thank anybody back home?
Yeah, of course. But before I do that, I want to touch up on what you said about, the points and everything. It's been a rough start to the season. We were definitely in potential for a lot of podiums, if not wins, without the upcoming weeks, and stuff out of my control happened, wrecks, cautions, you name it. So it's really good to sort of get the momentum started up again, and hopefully push into to next week with that same podium mentality. And I want to thank my dad. I want to thank Fort Worth Screen Printing. I want to thank you for the broadcast, and I want to thank John G and all them, Spencer, for putting this league on. It's honestly, tonight was a rough night, but aside from that, it's some of the best racing that I've ever gotten out of a league. Guys are, I was going to say this, but we had an incident tonight. I was going to say guys are really clean with each other, but there was one on-track incident tonight. But, I really enjoy this league. It's really good racing. Everyone's really respectful of each other. If there's an incident on track, usually it's talked about after, and, we go into the next week with smiles on our face. So I want to thank Brandon Medford, actually. He's a good guy, and, congratulating him on the win. He definitely put on a fight. And, just looking forward to next week.
Well, you and him both put on a fight, and you put on a show here tonight for us, Brandon. We do appreciate all of the hard driving behind the wheel. We appreciate all the comments. I know all of your the admin teams and your fellow racers will appreciate all the comments. So as always, man, it's been a pleasure, and stay safe and keep it fast.
Of course, man. I hope to be talking to you again next week.
All right, there you have it. Brandon Pimitat walks away with second here tonight. You heard it from himself. A little bit of a rough go out there, but it wasn't just for him. It was for a lot of the drivers with issues here tonight. And that's going to move us right along into victory lane. We're going to see if we can go trackside here. Let's get him. There he is inside of his winning number 83 machine. Let's go to victory lane with Brandon Medford. Brandon, it's Dave in the booth. You got us?
I got you, Dave.
Hey, man, you finally get to walk away with that checkered flag. I mean, you've been in podium positions, you've had great races, but how good does it feel to finally seal the deal?
I think I told you last week I plan on being up here this week, so to be in the top spot, it feels great after the way we've started this season in this league.
Well, you did tell us last week that you planned on being here this week. So what's your plans for next week?
We're not going to change the plans. Um,
I like it.
I'm going for a win, man.
Going for the dubs as always, man. You had a little bit of an incident early here tonight. So not only walking away with your first checkered flag of the season, but I would probably say overcoming some of the biggest adversity to get this win as well. Walk us through how you ended up that lap down early.
Well, early on in that run, the tires, if you're on the bottom, if you weren't careful, make the car or the truck real loose. And Troy tried to turn it to the bottom there and got a little loose. He walked it up the track to, save it. And I lifted a little bit, and I think Chris was off the gas, but Chris just barely touched me, and it sent me through the infield, and got damage. And went to the pits, and I was like, I'm going to see how bad it is. And when I came back out, I was like, well, the way that caution was, there's probably going to be another. And my engine blew coming off of turn two. So I had to coast it all the way into the pits. Went a lap down, came out, and actually was able to stay ahead of the leaders in just one lap down. So, and then if mess of cautions there played into my favor to get back on the lead lap, and then just kept it out of trouble and picked them off one or two at a time there in them restarts, and really figured something out there, and it helped me get to the top spot.
Well, man, you did a fantastic job at it at one point in time. I'm not going to make any bones about it. I don't like stretching the truth by any means. When I seen you lap down that early, I was like, oh, man, his night's over. It's going to be done. And then I would probably say about 30 or so laps after that, I looked over and I was like, he's actually coming back through the field. This is going to get good. So thank you for proving me wrong. Yeah, even though you beat my pick to win here tonight, you still walked away with the checkered flag in an amazing fashion, Brandon. I mean, I couldn't be more astonished at what you pulled off here tonight. And with the momentum rolling, we'll see how you go next week at a much different flat track up there at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. But before we let you go and soak in all the race-winning festivities here, would you like to give any final shout-outs, thank yous, love yous?
Oh, for sure. Gotta thank you for the broadcast. I want to thank everybody who puts on the league here at Colonial Clash. Thank Brandon Toot, what I call him. Thank him for the clean race there to the finish. It was a great side-by-side battle. I was finally able to sneak out ahead of him to get that clean air, so appreciate him running me clean. Thanks to all my Charity Motorsports teammates for helping us. We're not fast if we're all not fast, so we do a lot to help each other. Then shout out to all of our charities that we represent: Lucky Finn, Kids Talk, Ellie's Place, Race for Riley, and as always, Place, my charity that I like to race for and like to help out. So thank you to all of them. Thanks to my family that lets me do this a few nights a week, and thanks to everybody that out there watching, tuning into this broadcast, and glad we were able to put on a show for them.
Yeah, absolutely put on a show, Brandon. And again, congratulations on walking away with that first checkered flag. We look to see you here in Victory Lane many more times this season. We'll see how it all runs down for you. But as always, buddy, stay safe and keep it fast.
All right, Dave. See you next week, bub.
All right, there you have it. Final few words from your race winner here tonight in the Windy Joe Memorial 135. That's going to checkered flag going to go to the 83 of Brandon Medford. What a recovery, what a run here tonight for that 83 as he was on his way to capture the first checkered flag of the season for him and his crew. And just like that, we are going to begin to roll up the cords, cut off the lights, and get ready to head to the Northeast to New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Coming at you next Wednesday night. Man, what a race here under the lights as producers hit those buttons. You know the sounds. You know it's time for us to run down your unofficial race results from Kansas Speedway. Walking away Checkered flag in hand. Front of the field, the 83 of Brandon Metford gets his first race win. Brandon Pamitat, the 48 U.S. Air Force machine, will walk away second, and rounding out your podium drivers here tonight in the 42, Thad Failer. Cody Giles walks away with fourth, rounding out your top five. The Lucky Vin Project, number 94 of Troy Radford, the 55. Square D Machine comes home in sixth. Nathan E. Step finishes in sixth. Seventh place belongs to the 41 of John Gudekunst, while the 66 of John Garrett finishes in eighth. Sliding home in ninth here tonight inside of his number 35 machine, Wes Fuller. Finishing out your top 10. And the BJ's sponsored number 23 machine, Mark Parkhurst, will finish out your top 10. Dustin Franklin back in 11th with Thad Miller in 12th. Ray Radford 13th. 14th tonight belongs to your Paul Sitter, last week's race winner. Inside of his Pro Cup racing experience, number 21 machine, Thomas Smalling finishes in 14th. Scott Baker back in 15th. James Hood in 16th. 17th tonight to Zach Woods. Dylan McDonald in 18th with Chris Medford. Early trouble here tonight in Medford. Will finish in 19th. What a run. What a night here tonight for the Colonial Clash Racing Truck Series in the Windy Joe Memorial 135. We're going to get things set up and ready to go for next week at New Hampshire. But first, if you haven't already, join us in that push to 3,000 subscribers. Show these drivers some love and drop that thumbs up, click subscribe, and smash that bell over there at the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Whether it's myself, Dave in the Cave, or anybody else back at the headquarters, we do appreciate each and every one of you each and every time you stop by. So stay safe, stay loved, my friends, and until next time, we'll meet you in Turn 3.